Simon & Schuster Audio presents Unholy Alliance, the agenda Iran, Russia, and jihadists share for conquering the world. Written by J. Sekulow. Read by the author. This program contains a PDF of appendices.
Preface. This book is the second in a series that began with the #1 New York Times bestseller, Rise of ISIS, published with our Oxford Center for the Study of Law and Public Policy. Much of the research for this book took place during my summers at the University of Oxford at the historic and world-renowned Bodleian Library. 3 years ago, I undertook an extensive study of the former Prime Minister of Great Britain, Benjamin Disraeli. I was privileged to have access to his private papers. Interestingly, Disraeli faced challenges eerily similar to the ones addressed in this book. During Disraeli's time, Russia caused much commotion throughout Europe and especially with Turkey. Not much has changed in the ensuing 150 years. Disraeli famously said, "Questions between Russia and England are not questions that can be settled by arbitration. They are questions in which power is involved, and power can only be met by power. Questions of this kind can only be settled by force. I do not mean necessarily by war. I mean by diplomacy or war, because in my opinion, diplomacy is force without violence." The next year at the University of Oxford, I studied former British Prime Minister Winston Churchill, who prophetically warned unsuccessful interventions in the affairs of another country is generally agreed to be a mistake. Churchill was correct, and we should heed his admonition even today. Last year, I did a comprehensive study of T.E. Lawrence, Lawrence of Arabia. Lawrence played a pivotal role in the development of the modern Arab world. He was both pro-Arab and a Zionist. Unlike today, during this time period, this was not a contradiction. I read the entirety of Lawrence's tome, 7 Pillars of Wisdom, as well as his personal letters. Colonel Lawrence had a comprehensive and personal relation with the emerging Arab political leaders during World War I. He also encountered the Persians, the Iranians of today. He made an interesting and important observation regarding their unique view of Islam. Lawrence observed that the Shia Mohammedans from Persia were surly and fanatical, refusing to eat or drink with infidels, holding the Sunni as bad as Christians, following only their own priests and notables. Each of these three leaders provides valuable insight into the intrigue that is the Middle East today, because the lessons they learned from their leadership in their eras can instruct us on the challenges we face in our own time. A new alliance has developed in the last few years that has created what I call an unholy alliance. History often repeats itself. We no longer have the luxury of simply letting history...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?